let's talk about Xavier Worthy and the whole thing about this. Kind of speak about somewhat of like what went on, right, on the play in itself.
Okay.
Right? Why these things do happen. Okay. So let me set it up. If everybody's seen, obviously the train wreck that happened with Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy, and I spoke about this on Friday. This is a shallow cross concept. Two crossers, okay, that are crossing each other up, and you either read man or zone. Okay, this one is on man. So we know this is man concept. So man concept, you got to have a picker. Somebody's going to pick your guy. Okay. The guy that is actually running the route, both run the route, but the guy that's actually setting up the pick is the one that sets the depth of the route. Okay. Which in this instance is Xavier Worthy. Okay. This is X's job to set the depth of the route. The picker, okay, who's running the pick like in basketball, is Travis Kelce. Okay. Travis Kelce is making sure when he turns his head, he is seeing where the guy that has him man is going to be and try to do a little rub route or just get in his way, try to either make him bubble or go underneath. That's what makes this route so open. Okay. That's the way it's supposed to work. Two things happened on this play. Okay. One is on this play, and I'm just looking at it. I went it over and over again. Okay. Because like I told everybody, we run shallow cross in our sleep. This we can run this in our sleep. We know exactly what it is, okay? But it's still, you still have some things that is off key. It just happens, right? Because it's football. But Xavier Worthy should run this route about 1 or 2 yards, and you see him initially when he takes off, he's gradually get upfield, but he realizes he gets too far up the field and tries to come back down underneath, okay? And he knows now, maybe I don't have to go that far, okay? I can just outrun this guy, all right? When he sets him up, now you see him try to come back down. Now he's trying to correct himself by not almost running like an angle and coming back down. Y'all see that? Okay, that's what he's doing. So Travis, who's setting this guy up because he knows he has to have time. He's trying to give time for Xavier Worthy to set the depth of the route. So when Travis is doing this, he runs up. The linebacker kind of chips him a little bit, kind of throws him, which has him initially kind of pushed down somewhat, all right? But Travis knows this is man because the guy's on heel. So he knows the guy looking at him, this is man concept, pure and simple, okay? So Travis turned his head, he kind of gets pushed a little bit, but X is already too far up the field, okay? Now, I'm not going to say it's both the guys. You can just say, man, it's a snafu. You can say both the guys. Both are like, dang, my bad. That's what it is. But right here, this is Xavier Worthy, 185 pounds, soaking wet with weights in his pocket, running into a 255-pound man, okay? And don't see this coming. That's hard for anybody, okay? And he catches the full brunt of this right here. But Xavier Worthy knows we step the ball right here, okay, 29-yard line. X is probably running, like I said, 1 or 2 yards, gets up a little bit too far. He's like, oh, shoot. Now he's trying to come down. And Travis seeing the concept, Travis trying to get in his way, but the guy pushes him, boom. There it is. So when everybody's talking, oh, this should never happen, what are you talking about? This is ball. Guy pushes Travis, X is up too far, he's trying to get underneath, trying to correct himself, and it's just one of those things that shouldn't happen, but it does because it's ball. Guys get tripped up all the time. Guys get pushed. And so it don't always look like you draw it up. And this is where it is. And this is what happens. And he clocks Xavier Worthy. Dadgone. I seen this. I was like, wow. So that's what happened. That's the whole shallow cross concept. If X is underneath this a little bit more and sets the depth like he should and not too much up the field, and then Trav doesn't get pushed off, he's picking this. X is catching this ball. He might be running still. He might have ran all the way back to Kansas City. And no telling what happened with this game. Could have been a blowout. I said we could have scored at least 6 touchdowns against the team, and I meant it. And once we started cooking, it started looking right. When we started getting Hollywood Brown the football, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the correction. When I see Juju step up, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So when I'm sitting over here, I'm not worried because we got guys in the room. We got the guys. We got the guys. So Hollywood Brown is an NFL wide receiver, had 1,000 yards, a couple of places, done caught tons of balls. He's capable. He's fast. He's got hands. He can do it all. Juju Smith, same guy. That a couple of years ago, Marcus, I had to keep telling everybody, Juju almost got 80 balls two years ago.
Yeah.
Now almost 3, right? 80 balls. So he still got something in him. We haven't been using him up. You utilize him when we need to use it. But he looks good. Caught the ball, knows how to get open. We know that. That's what Juju does real well. And so also, too, we got the young guys. We know Jalen Roy is going to be coming back, okay? Just missed Tyquan Thornton, okay? Brownlee is there. Remigio is there. And look, and I said this, those young guys are going to learn a lot from those older guys, and they're going to get an opportunity. And that's good for them. Because you know what we've seen all camp? We've seen those guys making plays. Now those guys, now you become the guy. That's the reason we got you here. So when we were talking about and using and chirping all during camp about how good you are, now you get to show it. And it's a good thing for us because they know this offense, these guys out here can play. So we're going to be fine in that regard, okay? But I just wanted to kind of talk about this shallow crops concept, how it's supposed to look, and is it anybody's fault in itself? Not really, not fully, okay? Correction there, sure. Correction, try to correct itself. By that time, had got caught. Because Travis got a little bump, kind of ran into him. The guy really didn't bump Travis. Travis might have been able to like side swipe and get around him, okay? But he turned his head so quick at that time, it was already too late. And that's just fast. That's another thing. That sucker is just fast. So, unfortunate. We're going to be without him for a few weeks, maybe a couple, don't know. But whenever he's going to come back.
The prognosis on him is pretty good, right? Because I mean, there was different things out there. Oh, man, he can miss the entire season, and he'll probably have to get surgery at the end of the season. But let me ask you, JD, you never had a dislocated shoulder, but have you ever played in a shoulder sling before for any kind of reason? No,
I have. I've had a sprain in my shoulder, no dislocation. Okay, muscles too big, man. I got some big muscles.
Yeah, there are boulders. There are boulders up there.
Yeah. So I got shoulder pads on top of shoulder pads, but I have, had a little bit of a harness that I've worn to restrict you from going back and whatnot that causes a lot of discomfort. For a receiver, for X, it's going to take him some time to get used to that. I think he should be fine. So
that won't affect catching or anything. I mean, range of motion, does that affect at all?
It will somewhat, but he'll be fine. We're gonna be handing the ball off. He'll get some up top. He can catch the ball right here, which is not, doing it like this is what causes the discomfort. I don't see him catching a lot of balls this way or back here as much. You know what I'm saying? So everything, even receivers want to keep everything in front of him if they can. Over the shoulder catches, he might be able to, he'll be able to move to get that, and he'll learn it. You practice catching with the harness, he'll be fine. And not to mention, I'm sure he'll be on a little bit, to give him some pain medication to try to manage the pain. But Xavier Worthy, I know he's thin, but he's muscle. The joke is all muscle, man. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be all right. So I don't doubt that in his toughness at all. I think he knows he's ready for the NFL, and he's got a lot to give. But in the meantime, while he's getting healed, there's guys that we have on wide receiver, tight ends, and running backs that we need to utilize. We can do that. We could do that really well. So, with that being said,
I love it. That was a beautiful explanation because I've seen a lot of people online saying, "Oh yeah, his receiving abilities will be limited with the hardest and stuff." But I mean, like you said, as long as you're not doing catching stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to learn to get into range to where he can be. He reach up here. It might be a little uncomfortable. Yeah, okay. Can he stand it? Yeah, okay. Shoot, we ice it down after. and we'll see how it's going to be. So when he gets to that place where he's comfortable kind of wearing the harness, it's going to be somewhat a restriction where it's not too far back. He's going to be fine. He's probably put a pad right here where he's not getting hurt and all those different things to try to protect it. But like I said, we need a few plays from Xavier Worthy. A few plays from Xavier Worthy is dangerous against any defense. So,
yeah. Bottom line, it's good news that he's not out for the season. I know he's getting the second look, but based on all the with Schefter's report, Rappaport's report, and what Coach Reese said today, that he's day to day. It's a good sign, because if he was out for the season, they would have let us know by now. But saying day to day and out for the season, two different things there. So good prognosis. Hopefully we can get to see more. Hopefully he can be back on the field within the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yep. Wide receivers, man. I'm gonna give a bravo to those guys. Consider everything that happened with them, with Xavier Worthy going down, big blow to watch your boy, one of your brothers, take an injury like that. He's not going to be playing. So what you do is you look every man in the face, you look him in the eye, you say, hey, all you guys got to come out here and you got to show up. We've done this before. You know how good you are. Now we got to show it, because people are going to be doubting us. That's what's going to happen. Well, guess what? Hollywood Brown catches 10 balls. That's what he does. He shows up. Juju shows up. Now we got to get the young guys. We got to get the young guys going. But Hollywood Brown, I told you before the season, I said Hollywood Brown's going to have a heck of a year. I know that was going to happen. I said that. I was saying that. So the wide receivers, I think they did a great job kind of settling in, getting to where they need to get to, getting open for Pat, catching the football, moving the change. They did all those different things. So I love the grade that y'all giving him. And actually, that's what I gave the wide receivers. I gave him a B+. And the thing is, they deserve it. They deserve it. Because then all of a sudden, when we lost to Xavier Worthy, now everybody's like, go look on the market. Go get somebody. These guys are like, hey, man, we've been out here all camp. I know all the other side. Allen Robinson is like, come on, Chiefs. He's somewhere in the Bahamas or wherever he is, sipping Mai Tais or whatever. Man, hey, man, you ain't ready for ball. These guys are ready. They know the offense. They know what they need to do. That's why they out here. So B+ to these guys.
Yeah, and again, I think Hollywood Brown, he led all receivers in the NFL this weekend with 16 targets. So all players this weekend, he led everybody with 16 targets.
Hey man, people forget. They forget who guys are.
What did you make? I'm curious. We didn't really talk about this on the post-game show on Friday, but it did remind me, and a guy who gets injured a lot, right? And a lot of foot injuries, a lot of ankle injuries over the years. When he caught that bomb from Pat on that fourth down play, I mean, my initial thought is, why just keep going straight. It seemed like he stopped to try to let that the DB go ahead of him, and so he could like kind of angle to the end zone. For me, it's like some guys sometimes, when you feel like you're not that fast anymore. Do you think? I mean, for me, it's like you catch that ball, you go straight.
He was in a full stop. He had to catch the ball in a full stop almost. So the DB was already running down because he's catching it. So he had to stop, catch the ball almost like a punt. You know what I'm saying? Secure it. Yeah, you better secure this. Okay. All right. And then you got to start. So you all you got to do is fast, run at full speed, and you coming from a dead stop. And that's where everybody's like, oh, you should have scored. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he knows how fast he is, and he also knows how fast the sucker running is. Okay, from a dead stop.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it just reminded me of like Deshaun Jackson toward the end of his career, where like he knew he wasn't that same game-breaking speed anymore, where he would stop, let the kind of defender to go ahead of him, then he would try to like make his way to the ends of the other way. But
he knows the speed. He knows it. Maybe in his head was like, hey, shoot, dead stop. I ain't now running this guy.
Yeah.
Maybe let me juke him and try to get him past me. But
yeah. And again, I feel, and I know just people were saying, oh, Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood did not play at all this preseason. So, like, this was his initial getting in the game. So that first drop he had, he was getting out of his system. The whole thing was kind of like getting on the same page with Pat. It seemed like the first few, they weren't really on the same page. But obviously, second half, they did. So, yeah.
You just got to get in the rhythm, man. I mean, that's your go-to. Look, Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown, to me, are still 1A, 1B, however you want to call it. Hollywood Brown is still the start receiver in this league, man. He is. So get him going.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad they did get Hollywood going because again, we know that when healthy, this guy is a game breaker.
Yeah.
And Harold, I don't know. I don't know if you just want to grade everybody an F, man, but I mean, give Hollywood Brown some, give him some love, my dude.
All in or all out, Harold? All in or all out? It sounds like you all out.
and Jalen Rosman be coming back this week too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We fine. Sure.
Yeah. We're good.
10 catches, you get an F. Are you kidding?
All right. So our next is our tight ends, JD. The man. T. Kelce, baby.
Yeah. T. Kelce, man. I think Kelce had a decent game. I think he was ready for the game. He was ready for the game. I wish we had a couple more balls thrown to him to kind of get him going. And I don't think we did enough of that. There was times we brought in 13 personnel. We didn't really utilize that only in the run game. I think we need to utilize it in the pass game a little bit more. Noah Gray didn't really get involved as much. And then we need to do those things. We got weapons there at the tight end position. So, Travis, you can just tell, man, he's ready to play. He's ready to play. My tight ends, it's times, I'm always searching for the tight ends to go find work in the run game. Go find work. If you ain't got nobody, go find work. A couple of times I've seen guys kind of standing around and whatnot, but I think they did a decent job. So for me, I gave the tight ends, I gave them a B-.
Interesting. JD Motown Hemi is asking, why do you think they're not targeting Noah and Tanyan?
I don't think they're not priority in the game plan, which they need to incorporate them even more. But like I said, all of that is, you got to transition to something else, a contingency plan, okay? Because you don't have X. X is like your guy, Xavier Worthy, is who's going to be, who's the main guy. Then all of a sudden he goes down. Hollywood's got to be the dude. Okay, a Juju's coming in. It's like, okay, daggone, now we got to switch things up. But that's why we got a playbook this thick. Got hundreds of thousands of plays. But if it's not in your game plan, man, you gotta adjust a little bit as far as like some of the things you do. And if you want really heavy on 13 personnel because you think you got all your wide receivers that you're going to the game with, then it's like, okay, what do we do? So I think it's more of that. We just didn't incorporate it. But that's going to change because the coaches are letting know. It's like, look, if this has happened, then we got to have packages where the tight ends split out wide and do all these different things to be a part of what we do. But a lot of that does go into your game plan. It does go into having a couple of sheets on the play call for that week for the tight ends. So that's why.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Deshaun Hammond brings up a good point here. We kind of talked about it a little bit on the Friday show, but how much did Xavier's injury kind of impact the game plan? Do you think there was kind of like, they kind of went with they were going to go with and just had Hollywood kind of be that X role, or did they kind of had to scrap a lot of the stuff they were going to do this past Friday night?
Like I said, these guys are interchangeable. You still got to be able to run what you run. You still got to run your stuff. The thing is, you got to have a guy that's proficient in doing that to call it. I think it did change the running, the game plan somewhat, but also too, that's why you got guys going from place to place. That's why you're bringing up Rashad Smith and he can play slot. Hollywood can go out there to X, and you got Brownlee, you got Thornton, Remigio. You got different guys that are going to go different places. And that's why you have them in practice. They run the same thing that X was running. So you just got to trust the guys to be able to do it. But did it have an impact? It did. Absolutely it did. But also, too, like I was just trying to, like I was telling Tage, is you almost got to have a contingency plan when something goes wrong. And you know it. And you got to trust the receivers to do it. But that's why they're on the 53-man roster, Marcus. Yeah, 8 wide receivers for a reason. These guys are on the 53-man roster for a reason. They're on an NFL team, a championship team, for a reason, because they are capable. They are able to do it. If they didn't think they weren't able to do it, they go find somebody else. So now that's their time, an opportunity. Good question, Deshaun, my brother. You know how this thing works.
And Major Chip Hazard says 2022, we were a number one offense and we didn't have the best wide receivers, but we used 12 and 13 personnel a lot that year.
Well said, Major Chip Hazard. Absolutely. That is a fact. And we can utilize it now. So
yeah, we have one of the best tight end rooms in the league. So definitely utilize those guys. Utilize the heck out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.